So I guess it's my turn to tell my side of the story. After suffering with melasma for over a decade, I turned to the fractionated CO2 laser to rid myself of dark patches that had collected over my face over the years. I allowed my husband to do a play-by-play of my healing, complete with displaying images of my face at its worst and using my face as a weather map. I'm not sure I was aware he actually planned to draw on my face to highlight my skin problems. Perhaps I should stand atop this soapbox and share his. He asked in his blog if I was worried. I gave you my face, so no, I wasn't worried. But by post-procedure day 3, my hope was waning and a bit of doubt did set in. I knew it would turn out okay, but I didn't know how much longer the healing process would take. A week? A month? I must admit, just when I had my doubts, everything changed, and in an instant, my skin turned out better than I had imagined after only one treatment. So today is Sunday, and I had my procedure Monday. My goal in sharing my story was to share a realistic perspective of the downtime associated with this type of laser treatment and help anyone who suffered from melasma to see how my case progressed. Melasma is not a painful ailment by any means, but it became the lesser of two evils I was left to suffer with during my childbearing years. You see, I decided melasma was the ailment of choice compared to acne at 35, so I cut bangs to hide the brown. As the years went by, I researched and tried every over-the-counter and prescription skin lightening cream along with even laser treatments. They did lighten it a little bit, but the dark patches were spreading across my face to my upper lip, my cheeks, and my chin. This was a stubborn case. The melasma was actually masking my face, and I felt pretty hopeless. I surf and I snowboard, I cycle and I run, but even with zinc sunblock, my outdoor activities left me with a constant battle of the brown. The summer before my wedding, I gave up all my beloved sports to give me the best possible skin for my wedding pictures, which I think is kind of funny that I cared so much about those pictures now that my strawberry rhubarb face was just plastered on the web for all to see. But here's my rundown of the day's treatments, minus the fun quips my husband came up with. So Monday was procedure day. The laser was no problem. I was good and numb. About halfway through, my skin started to burn, like I had an intense sunburn. By the end, I was shaking and felt very cold. I started to sense I was going into just a touch of shock, and I thought for a moment, this is going to be tougher than I thought. But really, I was up for the challenge. I did just take Advil for the pain. I felt fine. I was a little bit tired, but that night I couldn't sleep, even with the Advil PM, because I was covered in goo. Tuesday, I was up and at 'em, and I went to work. I went to teach my class. I had this resolve that I could go anywhere and do anything. People stared, and some people even gasped when they saw me, but I just smiled. I felt great with no painkillers, and I went for a run that night. Downtime? What downtime? I was just really greasy from the ointment that was slathered on my face, and again, just having no sleep because of that was the hardest part. Wednesday, I went to work again, and I felt fine. I was starting to peel in places. I did have to go grocery shopping, and it was starting to get tough with the people giving me the strange looks. So by the end of that day, I felt tired. I was just emotional. The emotions really were settling in. And next day was Thursday, which was post-procedure day 3, and I had been warned that day 3 is the worst. Was it because I was the reddest I had been? Was it because of the itch and the ointment? Was it just the sheer exhaustion from no sleep? I wanted to cry. Oh, did I mention this was the day I became the weather map? It was funny. I'm a good sport, but still, chance of precipitation was high. I was emotionally taxed. I had to go for a run to feel better. I finally took Advil PM, put towels down on my pillows, buried my face in them, and went to sleep once and for all. Friday, clear skies ahead. It all changed in an instant. I had to fly that day, though, and I was worried I would scare fellow passengers, so I was prepared with funny stories like, don't smoke while pumping gas, or sad stories like, oh, my husband did this to me, until I realized that one was actually true. But much to my surprise, I woke up that day in the shower. I had a nearly complete peeled, soft face. I was red. I looked like I had gone skiing in September, and yet this was something I felt like I could handle. I had a vision for what my new face would look like, melasma-free, even after a decade. Saturday, I was slightly pink. I slathered on the SPF 50 with zinc and bought a big floppy hat. I must admit, I started to worry if I would ever be able to do outdoor activities again. I don't want to be a slave to my face. I like to do things outdoors, so it's going to be a tough protocol from here on out. But was it worth it? Relieved that I could still work and travel and I could be clear of the existing melasma with the side effect of smaller pores and fewer wrinkles? Yes, I'm a fan. So Jared mentioned on Facebook that he owes me something big. So let's go back to that discussion of weather. Hey Jared, the weather over Fiji looks mighty nice to me. In all honesty, I'm grateful for my new skin. Thanks, Dr. Nimtz. And yes, I do know you do this for a living.